My name is Vera and I am a programmer on the robotics team P3, and today I will be teaching you how to use TensorFlow to identify the amount of rings in the starter stack area and how to help the robot determine which target zone the robot should deliver the wobble goal to during the autonomous period. For this video, we will be using blocks programming. However, I also have another TensorFlow tutorial using onBot Java, so if that caters more to your interest, please check out that video.
Alright, so everything that we'll be covering in today's tutorial will also be on this GitHub, which was posted by FTC Engineering. I'll post a link down below in the description if you are interested in using this, and I highly recommend you use this to reference while you're programming. The reason why I really like this is because in a couple sentences, it tells you exactly what TensorFlow is, how to use it, why we should use it, especially in this challenge, and it gives really great visuals as well. It tells you how to use it with, robotics and this year's season, but it also shows you how you can use it to detect everyday objects. So the main thing that we're going to be looking at today are these sample op modes. It gives you both blocks and Java, so if you are planning on using Java, you can reference this example rather than this one. So once you click on it, it literally shows you step by step with pictures how to program this. And the really nice thing it has is that with each picture, it gives you a couple paragraphs of explanation, and you'll see that on the sample program itself, it'll give lots of comments, so you don't have to figure out and try to determine what this block of code means, because it'll literally tell you. And what we're going to be left with at the end is right here. We're going to be left with this on the driver station phone. What you'll see here are the dimensions of the rings, and based on the dimensions, it'll be able to tell which target zone to go to. So, that is what we'll be covering in this video, but they also have down here more step-by-step information on how to do extra display information. If you would like to see what the robot is seeing exactly, they show you how to do that on the phone. And they show you the code to do that as well. So that's really all I wanted to show you about the GitHub. So let's get to programming. All right, so now that we've gotten to the blocks programming page, we are going to go ahead and start programming. So let's press create new op mode. And then the sample you're going to want to pick is the one that's called Concept TensorFlow Object Detection Webcam. So once you have that, you can name it whatever you want. I'm calling mine TensorFlow Tutorial. And then, let's see. All right, so here's all of our sample code that we will be adding and editing. Here on this left side, we have all of our Java code. I mean, it just takes this and it translates it to Java language. If that distracts you, you can get rid of it by pressing Show Java. If you like it, you can keep it. I like having blank space, so I just keep it closed. And here, of course, is all of our loop blocks and things to add on. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go step by step for each block and kind of tell you what this program does, so you have sort of an idea of how the robot kind of figures out how to do this and what all of this means. All right, so this right here is going to initialize Vuforia. The reason why we have to initialize Vuforia, even though we're using TensorFlow, is because TensorFlow uses it will receive image data from the Vuforia library. Also, right here, you can see that Vuforia system will use an externally connected webcam. So this is basically the webcam or the camera that you have situated on your robot. And when you were configuring that, you gave it a name. you can go back and check your configuration, but this right here, this variable should be able to match whatever the name was when you configured it. So when I configured mine, it was webcam, called webcam. So this is correct for mine. All right, so the next block is going to set the minimum confidence level to 70%. This 0.7 is 70%. Basically what this means is that the TensorFlow library needs to have a confidence level of 70% or higher in order to consider an object as being detected in its field of view. You can adjust this to whatever you want depending on how selective you want the robot to be. So like if you want it to be more selective, like have an 80% confidence threshold, you would change it to 0.8. If you want it to have a 50% confidence threshold, you would change it to 0.5. So this can depend on whatever you guys want. And then right here, this is going to basically just activate TensorFlow. All right, so then this one is really this block is gonna depend on the placement of your webcam on your robot, how far in your autonomous program you plan on being from the starter stack area, because this is gonna set a zoom factor. So if you're gonna be farther away, you're probably gonna want a higher zoom factor. If you are planning on being, close to it, then you might want to have a less zoom factor. If your webcam is situated in a place where it can only be so far feet, but it still needs to see, it still can't see, that's what this is for. So this will need to be adjusted as you want. You can basically fix this by fixing the magnification. All right, so now we get into the if and do statements, and we're going to be looking at the iterating and processing list of the recognized objects. So basically what's going to happen is the op mode is going to basically keep iterating until there's a stop command. And at the beginning of each iteration, the op mode is going to check the object detector to see how many objects it recognizes in its field of view. So the variable recognitions is always going to be set to a list of objects that were recognized using the TensorFlow library. And this right here is saying if the list of recognitions is 0, if there's no recognitions at all, then it's going to display to the driver station control that there was no items detected. So basically, if the robot sees none of the objects, it's going to tell the driver that there is no items detected. Else if none of this happens, what it's going to do is that the op mode is going to iterate through a list and calls a function display info. And it's going to display information via telemetry about each detected object. And it's going to display like a bunch of numbers, which basically is kind of the dimensions of what it's seeing. Based on that, it'll be able to tell if it has 3 wings, 2 wings, 1 ring. And that's kind of all of this code down here. All right, so let's modify the block op mode to indicate which target zone the robot should drive to. So right here, this first one, what we have is that the object detector detects no objects, so we know that it has to display that there were no items detected onto the driver station control. What we're going to add is that it's also going to display that it has to go to target zone A, because we know that if there are no blocks, it has to go to target zone A. So this tells the driver, this translates to the driver station to display that as well. So now what we have is if the length of recognitions is equal to 0, it's going to display that there were no items detected and that it has to go to target zone A. Pretty simple. What I did to get this block, by the way, it was I literally duplicated this, and then I changed these little things, just by typing. And then we're going to do this. We're going to basically do the same thing, but we're going to modify the display info right here, the display info, to check the labels of the recognized objects. And if the label reads single or quad or whatever, then it's going to send a telemetry message to indicate target zone C or B or whatever, right? So that is what we're going to do now. So what I'm going to get is I'm going to get a logic block, and I'm going to get this if do else button. And we're going to just attach it to the end of this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see. And then I created this, but what you just need for that is you would take a logic, you would take this block right here with the equal sign, and you would click that there, and then I took these from up here. So this block right here. This one, because this one says recognition label. We want the label one, because we are trying to determine if the label reads this, then do this. So here, if the recognition label is single, so if it reads 1, then it's going to go to target zone B. That's what this is. Remember the same block that we used before? That's it. All you have to modify is the B. Next, we're literally going to make a copy of this. Control C, or duplicate, whatever is easier. And we're going to change this to, instead of single, we're going to make it quad, because quad means 4. And we're going to duplicate this block and down here. And it's going to be, instead of B, we're going to make it C, because it has to go to target zone C. Else, so if none of these happen, the target zone is going to be unknown, because we don't know what target zone has to go. Because if it isn't none, if it isn't 1, if it isn't 4, then we don't know. That means there must have been some sort of error, right? If there was 3 for some reason, then we don't know which target zone to go to. That's what this is. I'm going to make it all caps, just like the GitHub, so that there's no complications. So this is literally it. This is the completed op mode. And we'll test it in a second. But like I said, if you have a couple problems, take a look at this zoom factor. It could depend on where you have your webcam situated. Alright, so now we're going to go test it. And I'm going to show you exactly what's going to be on the phone so that you can make sure it works.
Alright, so this is our first test. We're going to be testing if the robot can identify that there are 4 objects that are detected, and if it can recognize that it has to go to target zone C. So as you can see, I have 4 stacked, and my robot is properly spaced to where my autonomous will be. So let's go ahead and check with the program. So here's my phone. I'm going to press init and play. So as you can see, it says quad and it says target zone C. So this worked perfectly. All right, so our next test is going to be whether it can determine if there is 1 ring, 1 object, and if it can tell it to go to driver zone B, target zone B. So as you can see, there is 1 ring on the field, and I didn't change anything other than the amount of rings on the field. Here is my phone. Let's see, in it. Oh. Single, target zone B. All right, this is the test with no rings on the starter space area. So let's go ahead and start. Oops, in it. No items detected, target zone A. Perfect. Alright, so that is it for today's video. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a like and share it. If there are any programming tutorials that you would like to see, please give a comment down below. We'll try to make them happen. But that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.